All right, how you doing? I want to give a quick shout out to my subscribers, everyone that follows me on Instagram, and the people of Earth. I want to just say a big shout out to y'all. We're going through it right now, but we're gonna make it. Everything's gonna be all right as long as we do our part and do the research while in this time off. And let's get into it. Without further ado, the pyramid download I've been talking about, pyramid document presentation. So, pyramid power, our key to the golden age. I'm gonna start off with just a quick introduction and a quick tour of my pyramids in the house, and then we'll get into a bit of the finer details and the science behind this technology, this pyramid power, the key to our golden age. Again, after I built these, I told my lady, this, believe it or not, is the highest technology we have in our house. So I have a 7-inch pyramid here, it's 3-sided. I got a 8-inch pyramid here, 3-sided, and 19.5 inch here, and with a 12-inch base, right? So 19.5 inch pyramid. The numbers are important. We can talk about the numbers and numerology another day. That's for another video. Let's just get into it here. I got a little chamber at the front. Before, I didn't open the pyramid doors by themselves. I just would simply open the chamber and reach in and grab. I used to just have water bottles and so on and so forth things. We'll talk about that. It's another download, another video. So let's get into it real quick. As you can see, I got it right by my son's stuff here, and by my avocado plant. Those who know about Ava, shout out to Ava. She's doing good. And why I keep it beside her, that's for another, we could talk about that in the video. We will actually get into why I keep it by the avocado plant, and why I keep this water here in this video as well. So 19.5 inches, we can talk about the dimensions later, but let's just get into it real quick before we get into the numbers. So again, I used to just open and close it with that gate right there, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to do more experiments as I conduct my own experiments on these things, as we'll get into with this video, and you'll see why. So I crack the seal, if you will, razor blade straight down here and the bottom, and open up the seal so that I have access to my pyramid. Inside, you'll see I got 3 chambers: upper chamber, middle chamber, and the lower chamber. Water in the pyramid is going into glass jars, and you'll see I have seeds. This is actually my stand that was actually helping support this, but as noticed, as the weight increased on the top chamber, and I have a stick in the back as well, as for this to stay up, as the weight increased with an avocado seed there, 2 of them in there, and several seeds in here. I noticed that my razor blade as well on the bottom, we'll get into that. I noticed that the weight was being too strenuous on these toothpicks, so I decided to just support the weight on the water bottles, and it's working out just fine. So again, I have seeds scattered in the pyramid. I have seeds in some form of germination and storage in the pyramid. Why? We'll get into that shortly. I love y'all. We'll talk soon, and I'm going to send some pictures and some information now before we get into the full download. All right, so with no further ado, let's get into this pyramid download, or pyramid lecture, or conversation, if you will. So I'm getting this information from this book, one of my favorite books, called The Sourcefield Investigations by David Wilcock. If you don't know who he is, I highly suggest you YouTube him, search him out, research him, and research his research, and investigate the source field yourself, for it is a real glorious thing. Yes, you are. So let's get right into it. I'm going to read you the chapter number 8. It's called Pyramid Power, Our Key to the Golden Age. Let's get right into it. This book is a book on facts. Let's just say a quote from this book, because this is not a book of fiction or wishful thinking. This is a book of a vast collection of investigations into the source field, scientific investigations into the source field. So all this information has been tested and scientifically proven to be true by scholars, government officials, government agencies, credential people, right? And again, it gives you all the references. You can check them out. I highly recommend you do a YouTube search for the source field investigations and check it out if you haven't. It's a quick little, well, not quick, but it's a nice download or presentation on what the source field is in short. So without further ado, let's get into it. Pyramid power, key to the golden age. And here's where it gets to make fun of my reading. The ancient prophecies do not speak of a worldwide extinction. They foretell of a coming golden age. Even better, we have a foundation, a significant number of technical details in the Great Pyramid's measurements, including the Earth's exact size, the precise length of a year, the distance from the Earth to the Sun, various planetary dimensions, star alignments, the precession of the equinox, suggesting that its builders may have also been responsible for seeding the ancient world's myths and prophetic religious teachings themselves. What if the pyramid structure itself was part of the message? Were we supposed to inherit the message we were supposed to inherit? Pardon me. Could it be working? Could it be a working technology, utilizing a science we have not yet rediscovered on a mainstream level? The pyramid power movement of the 1970s has been laughed off by skeptics as a brief flash of gullible behavior on a mass scale. Much of the excitement originated in the story of a Frenchman named Antoine Bovis, who allegedly visited the Great Pyramid in the early 20th centuries. Without reading, I'm going to just break down what this guy did, so I can keep it moving fast. Basically, allegedly, he visited the Great Pyramid, went to the Queen's Chamber, found a garbage can in there. Garbage can has full of cats and dead bodies. Found that they were mummified. Didn't understand it, couldn't understand it. Went home apparently, built a model scale pyramid of himself made out of wood, and tried to replicate it. Did replicate it, and this is where this whole pyramid experiment came from. Now later on it was found that he didn't even visit the Great Pyramid, he didn't even go there at all, but he did heard knowledge of this and replicated the experiments himself. Again, science, if you could replicate the experiment, it is proven either fact or fiction, right? If you replicate the experiment to get results consistently over and over and over again, this is a fact. If you try to duplicate the experiment, it doesn't work, it's pretty much probably nonsense, or you're doing something wrong. Okay, very important point there, or you're doing something wrong. So, okay, now, let's just pick it up here. Okay, like I said, according to the same Danish skeptic, Jen Legard, it may not all be a hoax. Thousands of people have tried leaving various foods items inside the pyramid. So again, he left not only cats, but he left milk, plants, bread, food, meat, fish in the pyramid, and it seemed to preserve these items, right? So this guy's saying it might not be a hoax. Thousands of people have tried leaving various foods inside the pyramid. They've advanced numerous assertions that the pyramid power can preserve fish, meat, eggs, vegetables, fruit, and milk. Cut flowers treated by the energy will, by all accounts, keep their color and fragrance. Moreover, coffee, wine, liquor, and tobacco are said to give off more appetizing aromas after a turn in the pyramid. So the Skeptics website that printed this Danish author's work revealed their true feelings in their endnotes, claiming Bovis formed his pyramid ideas through armchair reasoning and occult experiments. Despite the skeptical dismissal, further researchers revealed that Carrel's chair occult experiments in the 1950s with several different dead animals, preserving them quite nicely. Duval concluded that there is a relationship between the shape and the space inside the pyramid and the physical, chemical, and biological process going on inside the space. That he wasn't sure why is happening. Duval also was also the first to allegedly discover in 1959 that dull razor blades would be sharpened if you placed them in the pyramid-shaped structure built out of cardboard. Okay? Many Eastern European countries had difficulty finding good razor blades during this time, so there was a genuine interest in seeing if the pyramid's trick really worked. The patent offices in Prague refused to honor Duval's request to protect his discovery unless their chief scientist could get the same results, and sure enough, he succeeded. Duval was thus awarded Czechoslovakian patent number 91304. Google it, look it up. Pyramid power, pyramid patent into razor blade sharpening technology. So again, put razor blades in these pyramids, in a cardboard box even, and you're going to get some results here. So what are the results? That's not all. In 2001 now, so we're picking up close to speed here. In 2001, Russian scientist Dr. Vladimir Krasnoholovets repeated Dr. Ball's legendary razor blade experiment, repeated it, and proved with scanning electron microscope photography that the pyramid shape was able to change the molecular structure along with the cutting edge of a razor blade. So again, now he's taking some technology to it, and he's seeing that the molecular structure of the razor blade is changing. We're at 6 minutes. I'm going to try to pick it up here. Again, Source Field Investigation. Do look it up online. Get the book. Look at the YouTube presentation. It's almost word for word reading with this book. And you look at pyramid power. You can get all these informations and then fact check it, y'all. Okay. Again, we're grown-ups. We're adults. We know our rights and wrongs, and you can't fool us anymore. We're smarter now. We're waking up, and we're understanding science and religion do meet, and the science proves the religion can show the science to some degree, right? It proves the miracle of the science. So here we go. Let's get it going. Let's keep it going here. And I'm going to skim through because we're getting close. I don't want this video to be too long. I want to get it all out there for you. So Lau Watson, the author of Supernature, also repeated Bowie's original experiment with eggs, rump, steak, and dead mice. He found that the ones in the pyramid preserved quite well, while those in the shoebox soon began to smell and had to be thrown out. I'm forced to conclude that a cardboard replica of Cheops' pyramid is not just a random arrangement of pieces of paper, but does have special properties. Without citing specific references on the next page, Watson shared additional intriguing leads. All right, so I'm going to skip a little bit ahead here so we can get a little bit more of these fantastic things these pyramids can do out. So, trying to get some good meat and potatoes here for you guys. Okay, so let's start here. Pyramid power reboot. So again, it's just pretty much saying, you know, why keep manipulating these massive multi-ton stone blocks again and again and shape entire mountains? Because people would cut mountains into pyramid shapes because they knew that the shape has a sacred geometry, sacred shape, and there's some sort of power going on in there. Look, the pyramids are all over this planet, period. I used to think there's only 3, and then I started on my grand awakening, realizing they're everywhere. Everywhere on this planet, there's pyramids. So why would these ancients do it? What is the message? What's going on here? So pyramids or pyramid-like buildings that are giant and pyramid-shaped mounds of dirt all around the pyramid, all around the planet. Why are they doing this? For what reason? Why would so many different cultures independently get the same idea to build structures using techniques that that may well surpass our own level of technology? Once you start exploring the mysteries of what pyramids can actually do, this makes much more sense. Pyramid power reboot. So regardless of the fact the entire concept of pyramid power had collapsed into little more than an urban myth until 2001 when Dr. John DeSalvo, Giza Pyramid Research Association Web, first published the results of breathtaking new Russian pyramid studies for the Western world. The story begins in 1990 when Moscow scientist defense engineer Alexander Golod began building large-scale pyramids within Russia and the Ukraine. 17 pyramids had been constructed by 2001 in 8 different sites with Russia and Ukraine, and by summer 2010, more than 50 pyramids had been built worldwide, with majority still in Russia and Ukraine. Dr. Golod built each of his pyramids from an internal framework of PVC pipes covered with fiberglass sheets, forming smooth face surfaces. They were all built to fit the golden section. Again, numerology comes into play. Why do you think the pyramid is so intricately built? And we'll do a video on numerology. If not, look it up. With the Fibonacci up to the golden section. The so-called pi ratio of 1.618. This appears so often in the growth of patterns of living organisms such as spirals of seashells, etc., etc. This proportion makes Golod's structure steeper than the Great Pyramids, with a slope angle of about 70 degrees. The top stretches into a distance twice as high as the Great Pyramid goes, relative. So these things weren't too small, but they weren't huge and giant like the mass pyramids. Golod's largest pyramid soars 144 feet up, 44 meters in height, weighs more than 55 tons, took 5 years to complete, and cost him more than $1 million to build. It was finished in 1999 using non-conductive materials without a single metal element. Again, very important. Look at all the pyramids in the world. None of them are built with metal, are they? However, they are functioning technologies, as we're going to find out. Golod found that any metal in the pyramid structure caused the seemingly magical effects to significantly decrease. So once again, skeptics might say, well, I built a pyramid, it was strong as fuck, and the thing was built like a brick shit house, fucking had all kinds of metals, this is reinforcement, nothing happened. The pyramid is bogus. Mind you, again, if you build properly or they're not knowing how to build these things, you're not going to do it properly and they get the results you want, right? No metal should be in the pyramid. Absorbing effect would materially affect the energy fields, okay? We're going to skip a little further through here. Many experiments were done using the pyramids, include studies on medicine, ecology, agriculture, physics, and other areas. What is significant about this work is that it had been carried out by the top scientists in Russia and Ukraine and scientifically documented the exchanges and occurrence in these pyramids. As you can see, this is not no occult or armchair science at all. It was being taken very seriously at the highest levels, and serious amounts of time and money invested into these experiments. I was amazed when I read Dr. Vladimir Koshkilovets, summary of this research book in 2001. So I'm going to try to skip through and find some interesting things about the pyramid. We're past the 10-minute mark. I don't want to go on. I can go on for hours here. Just reading this alone, and my reading skills aren't the worst, as you can see. Okay, so let's go here, actually. The only tragic part of the story was that no mainstream academic journal would publish their results. Despite the meticulous care they took in using the strictest scientific protocols, the main reason for this seems to be that entrenched power groups would be heavily threatened by all the technological breakthroughs these discoveries would provide. Okay? The pyramid life, again, ties back right into the pieces of life, the big puzzle of life, what's going on here, and that piece of corruption and corrupt rulers, if you will. The Pyramid of Life website explains how much attention these pyramids have generated on an international level. Hundreds of thousands of people, including famous actors, sculptors, so on, went to visit these pyramids, what it goes on to say. It was taken so serious enough that crystals from his pyramids were flown to Russia's space station Mir, for more than a year, and the experiments were later repeated on the International Space Station. The Pyramid of Life website states that these studies have now been covered on CNN, BBC, ABC, AZA, Boston Globe, and all them ones there. Okay? So we're going to skim through. I can't really get the download that I want to and read this whole thing because I don't want to bore you so much, but I'm going to read you all the good stuff here. Their results suggest that the pyramid technology and its offshoots could save the world and substantially improve our physical, mental, and spiritual health along the way. In addition, these results tear the roof off of everything we've thought and we ever knew about our own bodies and about the science in general. The more you learn about it, the more wonderful implications become. Okay, so let's see here. Imagine if you could take a simple drug that helps people fight viruses, suddenly make it 3,000% more effective. That's exactly what happened in one study. Here we go. From Ivan Ivanovsky's R&D Institute of Virology within the Russian Academy of Medical Science. Professor Klimenko and Dr. Nozick were studying a naturally occurring virus-fighting compound in human beings called venoglobulin. When this drug was diluted into a concentration of 50 milligrams per millimeter and stored in the pyramid for a short period of time, apparently just a few days, it became approximately 3 times more effective at fighting viruses. Strangely, the drug worked just as well as they diluted it more and more. Even though normally these ultra-weak concentrations such as 0.000005 micrograms per millimeter would have little to no effect whatsoever in fighting against a virus. If that isn't groundbreaking enough, the healing powers discovered by Professor A.G. Antonov and his associates from the Russian R&D Institute of Pediatrics, Obstetrics and Gynecology, holy shit. Gynecology, are seemingly miraculous. In their hospital ward, they routinely had to treat premature babies with grave medical problems. Here we go. Who were only given a few days to live. Since their colleagues knew the pyramid had a remarkable strengthening effect on medication, and the drug itself didn't even seem to be necessary, they tried something even more outrageous. Rather than using known medicine, they took simple placebo samples of 40% glucose in distilled water and stored it in the pyramid. By administering only 1 millimeter of this solution to 20 different premature babies who were almost certainly going to die, every single one of them enjoyed a complete recovery. The babies given ordinary glucose solutions were just as likely to die as before. Could the pyramids be somehow activating a natural healing chemical in the glucose, they wondered. The only way to find out for sure was to switch to ordinary water and try the same experiment again, but a similar millimeter of pyramid water worked just as well. So just pyramid water alone would heal these babies. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is groundbreaking. How come we don't know about this? How come this isn't blasted as negative news is blasted at us every single minute of the day? All we get that's good news is the damn weather, and sometimes that, I'm up in here in the 6, and sometimes it's not the greatest. So come on. This is groundbreaking news. This is why they are the key, and the pyramid power is the key to the golden age here. This has healing effects here. So we're going to skip through this here. So here, now let's get to this point here. Equal amounts of the course one day. The only difference was that a group of mice was kept in the pyramid and other group was not. Amazingly, 60% of the mice in the pyramid survived smaller doses of the virus, whereas only 7% survived in the control group. Even much larger dose of contamination would normally kill almost every single mouse, 30% of the pyramid mice will survive, still survived. Only 3% of those unlikely enough to be in controlled group actually made it. So only 3% of the ones that were in the lab died, and 30% in the pyramid, they survived. They took, what happens if you put a disease organism directly inside the pyramid? That was what Russian Academy of the Microscience Group did. Egorova, Egorova, if you want to look him up, wanted to find out. 2 groups of normal white laboratory mice were given strain 415 of the virus, and I just told you what happened. Okay? So let's just go right here. The control group was given the same carcinogens, but they were given only ordinary water that had never been inside a pyramid. The mice drinking the pyramid water had significantly fewer tumors developed than the mice drinking the ordinary water. No dangerous or ill effects have ever been observed from these healing treatments. Golub's team found that the taller the pyramid was, the more powerful the effect became. That's why these pyramids are huge. But even the tallest one was still just a little more than a quarter of the height of the Great Pyramid. So imagine the power that one gives. It does cost money to build those pyramids, yes, but compared to the outrageous spiraling cost effects of health, and the struggle to find effective remedies everyone can afford, it's certainly worth investigating more. If it only takes 1 millimeter of water to save a baby from dying, think about how much healing water even one pyramid could create. Quantum effects, Miracle health cures are still only one piece of the puzzle. Remember the effects of molecular structure on razor blades? Other strange quantum effects were discovered as well. For example, chunks of granite crystals were scattered along the floor of the pyramid. Just threw them in the floor. The tallest pyramids at the time. As we've briefly seen in some of the videos online, faint but visible whitening would occur along the tops of these rocks, which otherwise should have stayed reddish brown. The whitish areas did not appear on all the rocks. They formed a visible ring aligned with the central axis of the pyramid. Between the end of 1997 and the beginning of 1999, this result was duplicated 40 times in the same pyramid, with different rocks each time, each ring covering between 50 and 300 rocks, with a total weight of 20 to 200 kilograms. Golub's team had also gathered evidence suggesting that when these rings formed most clearly, there were also fewer epidemics in the surrounding area. Okay, let's skip through a little bit here. They also built a series of pyramids over an oil well, and compared the results to oil wells that were built nearby. It was discovered that the oil under the pyramid became 30% thinner, thus causing production to increase by 30% because the oil was so much easier to pump. The surrounding wells did not have the pyramids over them, showed no change. Golub also found that the oil was much cleaner. Unwanted materials like gums, all this stuff that decreased substantially. The Gubkin Moscow Academy of Oil Gas confirmed these results were fact, not fiction. So again, this is all fact here. In addition, golems keep agricultural seeds in the pyramid. So seeding now here. Let's get into seeds. For 1 to 5 days before they were planted. 1 to 5 days and then plant your seeds. This was done with more than 20 different seeds varieties planted across tens of thousands of hectares. In every single case, the pyramid seeds experienced a 20 to 100% increase in crop production. So you take seeds, you scatter them in the pyramid, 1 to 5 days later, you go and plant them, and you're getting 20 to 100% more production out of that crop. So again, our whole scare of, oh, there's not enough food and there's not enough space to build the food. Now you take the same space and you get 20 to 100% more production out of your crops. Guys, key to the Power Age, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Key to the Golden Age. So let's see, and his associates found, I'm just keeping going here, and they found that anything that was harmful to life would transform for better if it was kept inside the pyramid. Poisons and other toxins would miraculously become far less destructive after even a short stay in the pyramid of life. Radioactive materials decayed faster than they were expected to. Dangerous pathogens, viruses, bacteria became much less harmful to living organisms after a stint in the pyramid. Even psychotropic drugs like LSD had less effects on the people who were inside or within close range of the pyramid even. If we remember that some of our thoughts seem to occur directly within the source field, again, so you read this book, you get in tune with it, this effect starts to make some sense. Ordinary placebos such as glucose and water now became effective remedies that could successfully treat alcoholism, drug addictions. All you have to do is keep them in the pyramid for a few days. The cure could be administered either by an intravenous needle or simply drinking the water. Ancient technology, let's consider even more discoveries from it goes on and on and on, guys. Built in Russia, Ukraine. I hope you're enjoying the video, by the way, and I hope I'm not boring you. Let's get into it here. The settlement of Roscoe, a 12-meter pyramid was able to make wheat grow 400% better than it had before. Radioactive carbon had measurable reduction in half its life. Salts displayed curious changes in their basic crystallization patterns. Concrete was set more strongly. Diamonds were synthesized within the pyramid, became harder and purer than normal. Other crystal experiments measured changes become clearer. I know this may all sound hard to believe right now, but as we go on, everything we're discussing will make much more sense. Bogdanov and his associates found that rabbits and white rats became 200% stronger in the pyramid. Again, here comes some athletics here. And forget about steroids. All you got to do is train in a pyramid or have a facility built as a pyramid with the proper building materials, and your athletes become naturally stronger and they don't get them all messed up off these drugs or addicted. White blood cell counts went up. Discovery has obvious implications for professional sports. Enhancements do not cause damaging effects we see from steroids. I just said that there. I'm going to skip through here. Let's go. Full extent of the power of this ancient technology did not become clear until I read about what some of the other Russian scientists did. They discovered where we see how the pyramids actually gave us clear protection against catastrophic earth changes. Given the incredible damages that can be caused by hurricanes, tsunamis, volcanoes, etc., there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be exploring the possibilities on a worldwide massive scale. Basically what happened is they built pyramids, and they found that they built them in places where they had high activity with earthquakes, and earthquakes would turn from 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 big ones to maybe 100 small ones that didn't do any damage. They took a severe weather storms, put them in places where they had tornado alleys, so on and so forth, and then almost as if the storm would come, and as soon as it hits, pretend my laptop's the pyramid, the big storm comes in, as soon as it hits the pyramid, it kind of goes like this. It goes around it and actually starts to dwindle away, right? These things have all kinds of effects, ladies and gentlemen. A team from All Russian Electrotechnical Institute in Moscow found that if they took 7 100 grams chunks of granite that had been stored in the pyramid and arranged them into a 1-meter circle, that the area was 5,000% less likely to be struck by lightning. They were confirmed by putting the granite on a flat metallic plane with an electrode that would discharge 1,400 kilovolts of power. Normally, when they turned on the juice for just a short time, there's a good chance the electrical current would arc out and form a lightning bolt, striking the metallic plate and creating a nasty burn. Over the course of 100 different discharges, the circle of pyramid granite proved to have remarkable effect on protecting the inside area from lightning strikes. There were 5 times fewer eruptions, which again is 5,000%. Remember the 500-meter wide column of energy. So there's a 500-meter wide column of energy that forms around the pyramid, right? So you not only just you build it, you get energy around it, as you've seen in my couple. If you're watching my video, if you're following me here in my videos, I have my avocado plant, my pyramid right beside it, and the water's around it. And again, on doing my own experiments, I had my pyramid. I had my plant growing. When I built my pyramid and put it beside the plant just started weeding up. I threw off my whole time in trying to get it outside on the right time for spring and summer, and I had to remove them. I had to separate them a little bit there for a time because they're just going too fast, throwing off my timing. Let's keep going here. Powers of consciousness. I'm going to skip through this other one here, and this whole page. I'm going to skip through this whole page of stats and information and just go to the power of consciousness because I'm pushing up the 25-minute mark here. I'm trying to keep it tight. The power of consciousness. Could our consciousness somehow be responsible for strengthening or even creating earthquakes, hurricanes, severe weather, and possible volcanoes and tsunamis as well? Could this also mean that we have a cheap, easy way to help the Earth through this critical transition period, so we don't have to simply hope and pray that someone or something else will rescue us? I was trying to think of even creating it. Okay, so does our collective disease appear to be destructive changes to the Earth? Collective dis-ease, as we're all stressed out now, and that's another video. Are we getting a worldwide, and again, we already know we're on lockdown quarantine, that's a whole other video as well. Does the coming golden age represent a time where enough of us move into a positive, loving attitude that we can protect ourselves from further problems? Russian National Academy of Science confirmed that pyramid energy could reduce criminal behavior and increase feeling of love and peace. Again, the universe is biased towards love. These pyramids are conductors for that energy. They harness that energy, they pull it out, and that love is healing, helping, prosperous energy. It's biased, it's good, right? That's why all these good things are coming from these pyramids. or so the science confirmed the pyramid could reduce all criminal behavior. They did, not all criminal, just hear me out, reduce criminal behavior and increase feelings of love. And I'm just reading it here. All they did was store granite and other crystalline structures in the pyramid and then set them up in and around certain jails in Russia, which held a total of about 5,000 prisoners, according to the Giza Pyramid Research Association website. Summary of these results: in a few months, most crimes almost disappeared, and behavior behavior was much improved. Nothing in the jails under the study has changed, except the pyramid charged granite had been built into their own surroundings. This last study was with prisoners is one of the most significant points. Once you bring the information we shared in the first 5 chapters about source field, somehow feelings of love and peace were all normally considered to be abstract emotional phenomena that are strictly psychological in nature, have a direct effect upon our surroundings. The pyramid energies create a measurable improvement in criminal behavior, just like the meditation effect on thousands of people where we discussed earlier, which reduced worldwide terrorism by 72%. Look it up, Google it, YouTube it. Armed with this knowledge, we can heal the earth. It is as if life itself has yet an undiscovered energy field that supports its own existence, and it emanates directly from the earth, where it is then harnessed through these unique pyramid structures. Radiation can be quickly reduced, ozone holes closed up over the pyramid, earthquakes and severe weather reduced or even was eliminated, water was purified, crops improved, illnesses, disease dramatically lessened, buildings made far stronger and safer, and even crime, terrorism, mental illness greatly reduced, if not wiped out entirely. All these things were considered to be separate problems, well beyond the capacity of any one person to manage, can now be seen as part of the interconnected whole. I'm going to continue on here. Energy evolution. How does this all relate? In 2012, the prophecies of a golden age. Obviously, there are many mysteries of this new science that we have not yet tackled, and when we have to go through them step by step to understand the blueprints of a golden age, we have to seemingly be given. One of the most obvious areas we need to look into is our own biological makeup. These healings effects are so bizarre and fantastic that it seems we have overlooked some very, very basic aspects of the laws of physics. Excuse me. Again, here's my pyramid water, as you hear. So again, one little sip should cover a lot of things that are going on within me. If 1 milliliter can help those babies, one little sip or a whole glass, bottle, liter, 8 liters, or 8 glasses of water that day, that's going to do a lot for you. Again, these hospitals can be old news. We can heal ourselves. Natural remedies, pyramid power, we can do it. Again, doesn't mean stop learning, stop educating ourselves, stop growing in the sciences of medicine. No, that's necessary. But it just means let's take another approach, try a natural approach before we create all these drugs and things like that can actually do more harm to us. This natural stuff ain't going to hurt us. It's just going to heal us. So furthermore, it would appear that we can receive the nourishment simply by being inside a pyramid. These pyramids, again, you build them to scale, are literally our portable hospitals, our mobile hospitals, our own personal home hospitals, let alone our growing chambers for the seeds, all the stuff they do for us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the true way of the future. And you look back to the ancestors and they knew this already, so now we're rediscovering it. Pyramid power. Being inside a pyramid, living near an object charged with pyramid power, or interestingly, seemingly plain substances such as pure water that have been stored inside a pyramid are going to benefit you. As my research progressed, I found fantastic evidence supporting this energetic connection with biological life. Best of all, this hidden force appeared to be the very source of and creator of life itself, and could also spontaneously rewrite DNA to transform a given species into something entirely new and different. Think about extinct plants that suddenly reappeared in the energy fields surrounding the pyramids near Slegger Lake. So again, I skipped through that, but they built a pyramid by this lake, and next thing you know, extinct plants that hadn't been seen in years and years and years and years and years start popping up. I'm talking about like hundreds of years, popping up. I've done my own pyramid experiments. I put pyramid water in my plants. I put natural water in there for months and months and months. As soon as I started introducing pyramid water, a whole bunch of other things started growing in my plants. I have it documented down. These are facts. Again, you got to become a civilian scientist and test this stuff out. Try it out, right? From the simplest of tests to the most advanced tests you could do, right? Get some cardboard, whip up a little pyramid, do some numbers, crunch some numbers, and give it a shot. Hey, it might just benefit you. If you're a farmer, if you like to grow, if you're a gardener, it might just make everything a lot better this season. I've already seen the results, and I'm about to do a download and another video on my update on my spiritual farming. Good results coming up here. So let's just keep it going here. I'm just going to cut into whatever I was reading and just go, where did their genetic material come from? Could existing plants have been somewhat rewritten, somehow rewritten of the DNA level to revert back to an older, more archaic species? And what about evolution? Is it possible the DNA code is somehow written to the basic energies of the galaxy itself so that we are actively being transformed into a whole new level of human evolution? This could very well be a fulfillment of many ancient prophecies, that arriving of a golden age sometime after 2012. Hi, 2020, here we go. A massive energetically driven evolution of the human species as we know it. I know it's obviously not something you're going to hear about. In the conventional science, you probably been conjuncted all your life to think such concepts are ridiculous, but you laugh it off. I want you to join me in this investigation of the hard scientific proof that such an evolution is indeed happening and has actually been going on for quite some time. In the chapter 9, the source of the source field. So that's in short, chapter 8, pyramid power. I've kind of tried to sift it all together. There's a lot more information there for you, but I'm just going to do a quick summary here of what we found. So the effects, there are agricultural effects, changes to the land becomes more prosperous. We see the benefits of the pyramids have on our seeds, on our crops, on resources, on the oil, on the land around it. Everything becomes more clean and more pure. The water we already know, and the plants and the animals. It makes me think about the consciousness as well. The animals and the plants and everything around these pyramids, are they going to be behaving better? I would have to say with the research, that's a strong yes. Environmental effects, better land, happier plants, happier animal, happier people, and consciousness increases, bias towards love and good. I don't know about you, but I think that is something we all could use right now. Weather, reduction of natural disasters, de-escalation of severe storms and decrease of bad storms. So we're seeing the reduction, if not elimination, of all these natural disasters that are mashing us down. And you look at into other videos, that's another video, right? You look into the weather control, what Kennedy was talking about years back, which we've achieved now, which we are not being told to us, which is being held back from us, which is being used on us. If we have some pyramids there, we can counter these assholes, pardon my language. Weather, so reduction of natural disasters, we went there. Health, there seems to be mini hospitals in these pyramids. You've seen the results they had on the rats. They put cancerous carcinogens in them. The pyramids, rats healed and recovered, most of them, if not all. And the pyramid, the lab rats, 3% survived. Giving a couple milligrams to babies, and next thing you know, they're cured. Okay, certain death with these babies. Again, it has healing potentials and healing benefits, as well as in our minds, right? Because we need to rehabilitate our minds, bodies, and our souls. This time we need to rehabilitate. Food preservation, again, the benefits they have on storing our seeds, making our seeds more strong, more powerful, preserving food even. I've tried that, and I don't really want to try it, but I'm not doubting it. I'm just keep my food in the fridge for now, but you know, if times get tough, I got a whole bunch of storage here. And I will be trying some experiments, obviously. Tool sharpening, the knives. Again, I work in film, and guess what? I use knives all the time. Do I have to keep buying knives now, or should I just throw a couple in this pyramid, let them go, and a few months later check on them and get them back with my knives for free? It's about saving the resources here. So again, the benefits go on and on. The knowledge is there. The information is there. I hope you enjoyed this download. I hope you enjoyed this information. I tried to keep it under 40 minutes, 45. I did that. I'm going to end it off here. If you like the video, please like, please subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram channel there, and I look forward to hearing from you, seeing you, getting in touch with you guys. I hope this information, I'm going to be doing a lot more downloads on this information when it comes down to the science of the world, because I believe science and religion meet, and they help us figure everything out when it comes to our spirituality, and prove to us that we are spiritual beings, have a human experience on this planet, and we need several natural things to help us, which includes pyramids and pyramid power. So I hope you enjoy this download, this information, this lecture, if you want to call it, or just this time we spent. I hope you learned something. I hope you investigate. I hope you pursue, stay on the quest of knowing, stay truth seeking, wake them up. We have a planet to fix. We have a time to enjoy. We have a life to live. Let's live it. Let's get informed. Inform yourself, inform the others, change your world. I love y'all. And we'll talk soon, and we got this. Let's go.